friends. In the studio with me today, I have Ryan and Tara VandenBos. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Yeah, I asked Ryan and Tara to come in. Okay, so if you've been listening recently at all, you've heard me say, Jeff Heron has been sending me names of people, but these guys actually came from Father Klein. Father Tony Klein. He said, hey, I have some people too. I know people. So Ryan and Tara recently converted to Catholicism. Tara works for O'Gorman. So he said, these guys are great. The whole family converted. So we wanted to bring you in to tell your story of how this happened, because people love to hear conversion stories. So again, thanks for being here. So I want to just start, if you guys would, just tell us a little bit about yourselves in general, where you grew up, where you live, family, that kind of stuff. Whoever wants to start.
Well, I guess I'm originally from Platte.
Okay.
Grew up there, graduated high school there, went to Mitchell Tech.
Okay.
Did that and moved to Sioux Falls in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
We got married. And
the rest is history.
Yeah, right.
How long have you been married?
23 years.
Oh, nice. Very nice. And kids?
Yes, 2 boy and girl twins.
Nice.
Dawson and Delaney.
And they are
in the 8th grade.
Okay.
Or we'll be going into the 8th grade.
Is that 14?
They are 14.
14.
Yep.
Okay, that was a good
Just
guess. That was a good guess for someone with no kids. And what do you do, Ryan?
I am a field engineer for Midco.
Okay.
So
Very nice.
I upgrade the plant, the cable plant for the internet, I guess.
Very nice.
Yes.
Very nice. You're the guy we like because we give you upgrades.
Yes, I do. That is my main purpose right now. Upgrade this.
Thank you for doing that. Tara, how about you?
I am also from Platte. We started.
Did you know each other? I assume you did.
Yeah,
Okay.
we started dating when we were 14.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
So,
Yes.
Yep.
That's
and
awesome.
Then been ever with each other ever since. So, yep. So, also went to Platte. Graduated. Went to Watertown and went for dental assisting.
Oh, yeah.
Worked in Sioux Falls for 23 years for an orthodontist here in Sioux Falls, Dr. Christ. And then after he passed away, I started working at O'Gorman High School as the administrative assistant for the last 3 years.
Yeah. And you love it there, it sounds like.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know you went to school in Watertown. That's where I'm from originally, that area.
Yep.
So
Yep.
very familiar to me.
Yes.
Good. Okay. So if you guys don't mind, we're going to dive right into the faith part.
Yep.
So can you talk about what your faith lives were like before you converted to the church, maybe growing up and as adults?
Well, mine growing up was I was raised Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, not sure what really happened, but kind of stopped going.
Mm-hmm.
The whole family. Like I said, I don't know what happened. Then we started dating, and then I just started going to church with her. So, and then like when we had the children, we went to church not often.
Sure.
It just really wasn't for me a high point to go get
Sure.
that done.
Wasn't an important thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But.
Sure. Tara, how about you?
So I come from a very strong Christian Reformed family, and so yes, church twice on Sunday, and I would take him with, like you said. I went through the Christian school system in Platte through 8th grade, and then went over to the high school there.
Sure.
The thing as far as my faith, I was strong
Pretty
in it.
strong.
I just really strive for more, I guess, as far as our relationship and his relationship. Been praying that he would want to find that stronger faith, and so and like be on the same page is really what would be what I was really hoping for. So, but as far as that, just looking for more.
So now my experience with Christian Reform, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but usually Catholics aren't super high on their lists.
Right. Yeah. There's
Nice.
there's a lot of different things that growing up that I've now found out that is misinformation.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It really, I just did an interview with someone else who was Christian Reformed. And it's definitely more of a, as there are other Protestant faiths that are somewhat anti-Catholic. And so they kind of grew up with that. So it's always interesting to me how you can overcome that, which is great. Okay. So something happened in there to make you guys decide, let's look at something else. But first I want to know, you said your kids went to Catholic church or Catholic school.
Yes.
Since they were kids. Why? Because you're Christian Reformed.
Right.
And even if you're not going to church very much, there's still something made you do that. So can you explain that?
So
Explain yourself.
yes. So I just think, well, God put the right people in the right place at the right time.
Okay.
So with twins starting off, we did get introduced to a Catholic daycare provider.
Okay.
Yes.
Diane.
So Diane Lamb, who's from
name
St.
is familiar
Michael's.
to me too.
Yeah. And so she took care of our kids when they were babies, and then just visiting with her a bit. We did go to the Christian Center, was a daycare. Or not daycare, preschool, turning into, I think it was a K through 5.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh,
And
okay.
then, so right when we got through the preschool part, they closed their doors when
Yep.
we were going
shoot.
to go to kindergarten. So at the end of that year, that school had an open house,
Yes.
and they invited a whole bunch of different schools, and we went around to several different ones, and we stumbled upon. Lisa Hummler, who was the principal at St. Michael, and Jenny Struck, who's the administrator, is the admissions. And so we were visiting with them, and I was like, oh, Catholic.
Yeah.
We just talked to them. So we were visiting, talking, whatever. And then they invited us to an open house. And I was like, well, I'll go, but I'm not going there.
I had to do a lot of convincing to,
and he's
to
like,
go
we
to
should
the
just
Did
check
you?
it out.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Okay, so I want to just stop for a second. You said you grew up Catholic. So, Ryan, you were baptized as Catholic.
Correct.
But you were probably never confirmed, is my
Correct.
guess.
That is correct.
So you still had this idea in your head that Catholics are okay. So you had to do a little convincing of Tara to
Yes.
get into the Catholic
Yes,
school.
I did.
Was that difficult?
Yes.
Was it?
Yes, it was.
very.
I was like, let's just go look. Can you just have an open mind for a moment? That sounds mean. It's not. She has open mind.
I was pretty stubborn.
Yeah.
That one. So, anyways, I'm like, just give it a shot. Let's go look at it at least.
Yeah.
And we walked in, and then we walked out and sold.
Yeah.
Totally.
What was it that sold you?
It was just the presentation of how everything is, I don't know, just included. Like, even though you're not Catholic, you are included. And we walked down the hall. There was, I think there was kids going out to recess or whatever. They're all lined up and quiet. It was like all in order. I was like, how are they doing this? But then the principal walked by and just asked a few questions. And one little girl was kind of hushed in the back, just kind of sinking down, and she didn't want to answer. She went through a few of them. She got to the one the end, and she just asked her a small question, how she felt, and made her feel included. And she was busy telling us about it. And
Oh,
I was
nice.
like, oh wow, that is.
So the kids really responded to the place, and you noticed that.
Yeah. Yep. And I guess just the feeling, the overall feeling. I said, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Okay, so we're still a long ways from you guys becoming Catholic.
Yes.
So what has happened since the kids started in Catholic school up until when did you come into the church? Was it this last Easter?
Yeah.
This is last Easter.
So just a couple months ago.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a few years.
Yes. Yes.
So what happened between then and now?
Well, we really weren't going to church very often.
I would watch online because
Okay.
that became kind of a thing over 2020.
Yep.
But he really didn't do much with it. But I was talking with my coworkers. So as the kids are going through school and they have all their religion, coming along, and I'm like, what is this? What is that? What is that?
What are they teaching you?
And so I would ask the orthodontist I was working for. He was actually a convert as well.
Very
And
nice.
so I would ask him things, and then also my coworker, Kola Euchre, she's from Tyndall, and I would ask just different questions. What's this deal with Mary? What are
Holy
we doing?
usual.
Yeah, why are all these books of the Bible added to? So I was told.
It's funny now, isn't it?
It is funny. I was like, but what about this? I was very, they walked me through
Yeah.
a lot, explained it, and it made sense. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I never heard of that before. Okay. And so then I guess that really worked in my heart, and
Yeah.
it just kind of,
Yeah, and well, and
trickled
for
through.
for you, Ryan, it's something where, at least what I've seen in the converts, especially couples that I've talked to, if one is Catholic, usually it almost can't be the spouse who brings that about. Like, you have to come upon it yourself, and it's a lot of times other people. Did you find that with
Yeah,
Tara?
I did. I remember discussing the one conversation. We're like, well, we really aren't going to church, and she's like, well, where do you want to go? I'm like, well, I said St. Michael's. What do you think about that? And
He's crossing his fingers.
yeah, and she's like, yeah. So
Oh.
we started going.
And how long ago was that?
It's been a year and a half.
yeah,
Oh,
that
very
we
nice.
went consistently. Yeah.
So you had some time to let God work on your heart a bit. What was that like for you, Tara?
It was great. I guess once I got into the school system as well, like that was a huge prod for me. And
You're kind of surrounded by a lot of Catholics.
Yes.
'Cause not everybody there is Catholic,
Right.
as evidenced by
Yes.
you working
Yep.
there in the beginning.
yeah,
But there's a lot.
There is, and they just meet you where you are and answer the simplest questions. Father Klein, as I asked him all the time when we were going through RCIA, I'm like, so what about this? And the drainage system? What's happening? So he would answer all of my silly questions or whatever. And
The drainage system. Are you
Yeah.
referring to when
Like,
they wash the...
yes.
Okay, I'm like, drainage
yeah,
system?
I was like, what does this look like? He's probably like, I've never had anybody ask me any questions.
If it's a
but-
question, it should be answered, right?
Yeah, it's like, hey, come over here a minute. So
What is this?
But yeah. So anyway, when I first started my first day, Brenda Mitzel had mentioned Bible in a year, and
Yeah.
I have never read through the whole entire Bible, start to finish type of a thing. Always wanted to. Got to Numbers, never would get past it. So
I hear
anyway,
you.
So then I was like, I should listen to that, and I loved Bible in a Year, and that really sealed the deal
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Answered so many questions, and that was probably the thing that got me the most on board.
Yes.
if you want to call it that.
Did you get through it in a year?
No.
Okay, because the reason I ask, my husband and I are doing it together right now. He wanted to do this, started at the beginning of the year. We were at Numbers. We are way behind.
Yes.
It'll probably take us 5 years
Yes.
to get through the Bible in a year.
Yes.
But it's really good.
Yeah.
Especially in those first few chapters. There's a lot of, what in the world am I reading here? I don't understand. So we've actually talked about it a bunch in Ignition with Dr. Bergwald and his show, because a lot of it's just kind of bizarre.
Yeah.
And you have lots of questions, so that does help a lot. Did you go through it with her, Ryan?
No, I did not. I need to do that.
Yeah.
And I started, and I'm behind. As
So
well.
you'll be with us at
Correct.
the Bible in 5 years.
Yes.
I started on the
Yes.
the
Oh, the
catechism.
catechism. Yeah.
So I just started that.
Yeah.
a
You know,
couple
there's no
weeks
reason
ago.
you have to do it in a year. That's just the name. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you guys talk about your children coming in with you a little bit? Because we talked about this before we came on, but I want to kind of tell how that happened and how they are with it.
Like I said, we actually use them as resources for information
All the time.
Like, what do you think about what's this about? What do we do this? How do we do that? And then,
What's this mean?
yeah, they have been great.
Yeah.
They want to go.
Yeah.
Um,
They, as you said earlier, they were ready.
yes.
Yeah. They
Yes.
were like, what's the holdup? Why
Yes.
are we not able to go
Right.
through communion.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
way or-
And Delaney wanted to do confession.
Oh, sure. Oh,
yeah.
wanted to. That's great.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
mean, for kids who are, 13, 14 at that, whatever time that is,
Yeah.
to want to go to confession, that's really beautiful. What was Easter Vigil like for you guys? What was first confession like, and then Easter Vigil, all of those things? Because you hadn't been confirmed yet, so you had to go through RCIA as well,
Correct.
didn't
Yes,
you?
I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So what were those things like?
Confession was,
As adults,
Yeah,
especially.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
yep.
Oh my gosh.
It was, yeah. I was relieved when I was done.
Yeah.
And it felt great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was worth every bit of it to do, even though it was a little tough. It was very much worth doing.
Yeah, even just having to think back over your life and like, oh gosh, I hope I don't miss anything. But
Yeah.
you're going to miss stuff. I
Yes.
mean, that's just how it's going to work. So,
Yeah.
Tara, what was that like for you?
Yeah, I echo that. I guess it was something new, you
Yeah,
know, where
yeah.
you have to really concentrate on those things. But yeah, just very, very relieving and very, I don't know, it was very cleansing, very,
Yeah.
very freeing.
Who was
I
that with? Father Hartman?
We had,
I
think you saw
had Father Dan.
Dan Smith.
Oh,
Yep,
sure, okay,
And then
okay.
I had Father Hartman. yeah.
Okay, I've not been to confession with either one of them, so I'm sure
Yeah.
they're
Yeah, it was
awesome,
awesome.
though. Okay, so you got through confession.
Yep.
What was Easter Vigil? Did you go at the cathedral?
Or
No, was it at St. Michael's?
It was at
Okay.
St.
Michael's,
Michael.
yes.
Yeah.
And what was that like for you?
That was it
beautiful.
was with all the family there.
Oh,
and,
good.
You know,
Nice.
it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was.
So both of your families were there?
Yes.
Your family too?
My mom, yep.
Yes.
My dad passed
Great.
away.
Okay.
My mom came, and my brothers couldn't come. They, with little kids, I didn't
Sure.
expect them to, but they were fine with it.
Oh, good.
Good.
They were actually going to at
They
one
were,
point,
but, yeah,
but
just
something fell
scheduling.
apart. But yeah, so nobody was surprised by
no.
our.
They're like, she's working
Conversion.
for a Catholic
Yeah.
school. I think
Yeah.
we're in trouble.
She's going, the kids are there. So it wasn't anything new.
Yes, everybody was
And-
very supportive.
Yeah,
Good.
and my mom's mom was Catholic, so
Okay.
so she was like, okay, yeah, I'm fine with
Yeah.
that.
So it was not a traumatic thing for the families, which is good.
no.
Good.
No.
Was there anything that stood out from that day for you?
Oh, it was just, it just made you feel so included and welcome to the church. Like just everything was just, it was just great.
Yeah.
It was a great blessing. We, all of it, our sponsors, like just every piece of it. Yeah.
Good. And the kids were excited to go to communion, I bet.
Yes.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Dressed them up.
Yep. Yeah. We got a
They
lot
got
of,
to go.
Yep. A lot of things happened in one
They
evening.
knew how to do it.
Yes.
That's awesome. What's been the biggest blessing so far?
Is that we are all together.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yep. We're
That
on the
has to be
same
huge.
page.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Has there been a challenge so far? Ryan's like, no, it's great.
Her.
No, not at all.
I did not say that. Is there been a challenge for you, Tara, yet?
No, I guess I shouldn't say. Yes, there are some things that I just look at and say, okay, so what does this mean? I
Yeah.
don't remember what this is called. I don't remember why this is happening.
Right.
So there's just those things. A lot of the like sacred traditions more than like the actual. But it's things that I'm learning and I appreciate once I know what they are and I understand them.
Yeah.
So
and I think we have to remember that just because you converted doesn't mean that every single hurdle has been overcome.
yeah.
Because there's still, especially for a lot of converts from other faiths, sometimes they still struggle with Mary or with saints or with whatever it is. Sometimes those struggles are still there. So hopefully you're still working through that stuff and
Yeah. No, I think I feel confident with that.
Yeah,
It's just like like you said, the confession and stuff where you're kind of like, okay,
how
this
often do I
is-
have to do this?
Yes, it's just uncomfortable, but but understanding it and it makes sense. So,
Yeah.
but
How has this impacted your marriage?
It has been a blessing.
Yeah.
It's better than it ever has been.
Yeah.
I would say that too.
I would assume you feel closer because
Correct.
you can share this well, it's supposed to be the biggest part of our lives. So
Right.
hopefully that is, and then you can share it.
Yes.
So you guys have experienced that.
Yeah. The
Yes.
first time in our marriage. Yeah.
Oh, good. After 23 years.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Now you have that to look forward to for a long time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Good. So this is, I don't know if this is going to be a good question for you yet as a brand new Catholic, but we'll see. Are there any saints that you two turn to at all? And not all Catholics have that. So it's okay if the answer is no. But is there anyone that you turn to yet? Any saints?
So I picked, I guess we had our
Every
patron
confirmation
saint.
saint.
Yep. And so Elizabeth Ann Seton
Okay.
is who, because the Catholic school system
That's a great
essentially
reason, yeah.
brought me into this Catholic. I chose that. And ironically, my mom, just out of a whim, she would call me Elizabeth Ann just as a side little nickname. And so
A lot
I
of
was
things
like,
going on with you
wow.
guys here.
So I looked it up. That's where I was like, Elizabeth Ann. I wonder what that means. So I'm like, Catholic, and also I think she was a convert as well.
Yes, I
so
think she
I
was,
like,
yeah.
oh, there's different things. And then I was reading more, and it was like, parent had
Yes.
lost a parent. I'm like, well, that's me too. So there's
You should
several-
also look up who is the patron saint of dentists and so on, because you really did have a lot of kind of ways that the Holy Spirit was leading you to the church.
Yes.
And that was one of them. That might be a
Yes.
saint you can pick up.
Yes.
Just a little tip.
That's
Ryan.
all- yeah.
Ryan, who is
That's all.
your
Yeah,
saint?
Gabriel.
I love Gabriel. Why did you choose Gabriel?
Well, he is the patron saint of telecommunications.
That's
workers.
true. Yes.
So,
Why we love him.
yep. So that's one of the reasons.
good.
But yes.
Good. Okay. We are out of time, you guys. I really appreciate you coming in and sharing your story. So glad your whole family came in. I hope you will continue to grow as a family and as a couple and really appreciate your Catholic faith.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot for being
Thanks
here.
for having
for
us.
having us.
You bet. If you haven't found us already on social media, you can find us at Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube at SF Diocese. And of course, you can find us at sfcatholic.org anytime. That's it for us today. Hope you'll join us again next week for more Catholic Views.